So, I'm Peter Cook. I'm here today interviewing Rainbow George, the optimistic mystic. George, what have you got to tell me about life, the universe, and everything else?
I I want to tell you about something that is set in motion, and it's auditions for a film
Okay.
called "The Spirit of Truth?" question mark, and there's going to be a film made of people auditioning for the starring role in a one-hour film titled "The Spirit of Truth?" question mark, and the Spirit of Truth comes into play in a prophecy attributed to Jesus in John's Gospel, where he says, "I have yet many things to say unto you, but you cannot bear them now. Howbeit, when he, the Spirit of Truth, is come, he will guide you into all truth. For he shall not speak of himself, but whatsoever he shall hear, that shall he speak, and he will show you things to come." So I spent the last year playing around, trying to write the script for the 5 minute audition that actors will be delivering.
Hmm.
And I still haven't completed that 5 minute script, but I'm close to it now, I think.
Okay.
And yeah, it's been a long journey, and you are part of the story. So
Oh, I'm honoured.
well,
What part am I playing then, George?
you're the part you're playing is of somebody who persuaded me to part with 50,000. Well, it didn't persuade me, but you were involved in me
Yeah.
losing £50,000 on the John Otway uh,
Yes.
story.
He certainly wasn't Jesus. He was just a very naughty boy, wasn't he?
Was he a naughty boy? I thought what he was trying to do was was wonderful,
Oh yes, yes. I'm just saying that. Yeah, he did. We all parted with large sums of money, and he forgot to tell us that there were other deposits needed, and eventually he ran out of people to persuade. Hence why we're still talking about this. But come back to the story then and the 5 minute thing. What are you hoping it will achieve in terms of consciousness in the world and things that you want to bring about?
well, it's as I say, the auditions themselves will be a 1 hour film with 10 actors will be chosen to feature in uh, a 1 hour film just called The Spirit of Truth Auditions. And I I mean, it's been a long way for me to reach this point, but and I haven't quite reached it, but it the Spirit of Truth auditions in 5 minutes will ostensibly make the prophecy in John's Gospel come to pass. I mean, the truth that lies behind what can clearly be shown to be the fictional Jesus character is going to be revealed. I mean, the first two Gospels, Mark and Matthew's, that they both come on the scene after the generation that they both have Jesus prophesying that he's going to return to. That generation has passed away when those Gospels appear. So they're both portraying Jesus as being a false prophet because he hasn't come back, and 2,000 odd years later he still hasn't come back. So
people aren't even reading his book anymore, are they? Much.
Well, the Bible is totally misunderstood. People lose their way at the very beginning. In the beginning wasn't at the beginning, and it starts off. There's a mistranslation at the beginning where it says in the beginning God created the heaven and the earth, and the earth was without form and void, but the was is an error. The correct translation is the earth became without form and void. So you're being told of a world that has been destroyed, and now a recreation is taking place. And each of the Gospels is clearly made to contradict the other. For instance, the inscription on the cross is different in each Gospel. What supposedly happens to Jesus on the cross and beyond it is different in each Gospel. The Gospels and the book of Acts contradicts the four Gospels, and it's clear that this is all designed. It's not accidental.
I was going to ask you, is it the case that Jesus just needed a good proofreader, or was he, like Boris Johnson, a bit of a did he elaborate upon the truth a bit?
No, the joke is that he is portrayed as being the Antichrist. He says clearly, "Think not that I come to bring peace on earth. I come with the sword to create division." And another quote, "If any man come to me and hate not his father and mother and wife and children and brethren and sisters and even his own life, he cannot be my disciple." And other things like that are clearly saying that this Jesus that is being portrayed is not the Christ, is not the Messiah. It's how does it go in Matthew and Mark's Gospels set it all up, and they both referred to him. They very clearly they referred to him as Jesus, who is called Christ, not Jesus who is Christ, but Jesus who is called Christ. But in truth, he's a mythical character who is portrayed as being the son of the Lord, and the Lord is portrayed as being the God of this world, and the God of this world is Satan, Lucifer, the devil. There's a lot of humour behind the whole thing, but it's just amazing how blind people are to the truth that is plain to see. Many things, but ultimately it comes down to the numerology of the Bible and that is indicated in Revelation by talking about the number 666 and the numerology reveals Jesus to be the number 666 and
Crikey, strong stuff.
Yeah, no, it is strong stuff, but
Do you think that the book needs rewriting then?
No, it needs rereading. I don't know. I've had this information since 1976.
Ah, that was a time when you had that sort of revelation, didn't you?
1976. This time in 1976, I was going through some, no drugs involved, but I was going through being taken on a trip where I supposed myself to be in telepathic communication with a friend of mine called David, who had died a few years earlier, and I could hear his voice in my head, and he was guiding me to read the King James Bible, and other voices started coming into my head and sort of blocking my communication with David, and it got really freaky, and I went through several exorcisms with an exorcist in Hampstead called Christopher Neil Smith.
I didn't know you could get them in Hampstead, George. I thought Hampstead was rather devoid of exorcists. I thought that was the realm of southeast London.
No, I was sent to him by the Royal Free Hospital.
Okay.
Where I'd originally gone to try to get them to give me something to keep me awake. I was really made the book was shelved, and I found myself going into other things, and in 1984, the day before my 44th birthday, on October 13th, 1984, the day before the IRA bombed the Grand Hotel in Brighton. And I've been planning to set up a party dating agency. I don't know why the idea I had back then that nobody's taken it up. But the idea was to create a party dating agency where people would meet at parties, and I was going to call it Captain Rainbow's Universal Party Dating Agency, and Captain Rainbow in my mind is the God most high above all the other gods who I have come to suppose that we created.
Mm-hmm.
I see us as being the Humpty Dumpty spirit soul of Captain Rainbow. So I had links to Ireland, and I decided that I would start up a political party campaigning for Britain and Ireland to join together.
Mm-hmm.
And become, I was talking then about the Emerald Rainbow Islands, but now I see us as joining together as the United Wise Wonder Islands. Wise as in Wales, Ireland, Scotland, England, just imagining those four countries coming together, and imagining a future world of wonders in which there are no countries, there are no governments, just trying to imagine a future as wonderful for everybody as it can be imagined to be. Everything comes down to imagination, Peter. It's everything that exists because somebody imagined it.
So coming back to where we are now, you have this 5-minute script to write and then a play to produce, and imagination eventually turns into concrete matters. What are you hoping people will do after they've seen this play, or what are you hoping will happen as a result of it?
I'm hoping that what imagining is going to happen will happen, and it will really be a shame if it doesn't. But I am, yeah, I am a prophet. I don't know if I'm a false or true prophet, but I am a prophet, and I'm prophesying that this this 5-minute audition, this film of the 5-minute auditions will make something wonderful happen. It's
All right, thank you. I gather you were on the radio last night and didn't get such a warm reception. Who was interviewing you?
Ian Lee. Do you know anything about Ian Lee?
No, I don't. No.
He's got his own show. He used to be on other radio stations, and he was on talk radio.
Oh, right, yeah, okay.
And now he finds himself with his own station, the late night alternative, Ian Lee, and I have some history with him.
Oh, do you?
Yeah, and he was quite. He was in the television series The Jungle a few years back.
Oh, was he? Okay.
Yeah, and yeah, looking up IAIN.
Right.
Ian Lee.
And where can we find out more about your proposed sort of play and the the connection, the Rainbow Connection? Where can we find out about that more? All right, fine. Okay, thank you. So we look forward to the film, the play, and Rainbow George, the optimistic mystic, talking to Peter Cook, the pragmatic pessimist, is an interesting combination. So thank you very much, George.